What's up, guys? We're back again with another Azshara's Eternal Palace boss guide. This time we are doing Orgozoa, this tentacled monstrosity of a boss that is probably the worst boss for balanced druid inside of this whole entire instance. For essences, you're probably looking for, you can honestly play like kind of whatever. I'm playing some like weird shit here, so kind of use this as just like background footage. Don't really use this as like the determination of what you should be playing. But you can kind of play whatever you want. Major essence-wise, Condensed Life Force is good. Purification Protocol and Essence of the Focusing Iris are kind of memey because they do good damage to the ads. However, they're both good for like padding or like trying to get the best logs or whatever else. So those are the top three. In this video, I'm playing Visions of Perfection because I find it the most fun. So like, I don't really care. This boss in general is just very bad for Moonkin just because of how these ads end up working out. Basically, Starfall is a bad button, so we do no damage, is the crux of the issue here. And then as for minor essences, Purification Protocol is really good because Orgozoa is a aberration. I was looking for the word, sorry. Orgozoa is an aberration, then Conflict and Strife for Essence of the Focusing Iris Minor are both very good. If you don't have Conflict and Strife rank 3, then you should 100% take Focusing Iris. The two best are probably Purification Protocol and Focusing Iris, though, for this boss in general. As for talents, this is where stuff kind of gets a little bit subjective. We have Nature's Balance. Of course, you're always going to take that. Wild Charge is good. Renewal is also decent. I would suggest Wild Charge, especially whenever you do get the incubation fluid. I get it pretty early on here, so you're going to see me Wild Charging out of the group whenever he starts casting that Arcing Current. So Wild Charge is pretty decent on this fight. Restoration Affinity is better than Guardian Affinity. The flat damage reduction is just not super great from Guardian Affinity. Unless you're playing like Switch Hitter and you're going to go Bear and like Frenzy Regen to get Avoidance, but I don't see that being that great for this fight. But there is some choices that you can make there. Then you kind of have whatever. You can play Typhoon, like it's whatever. And then Starlord is better than Incarn. I'm playing Incarn here because I want to. Don't, again, like I said, don't use this as like a this is what you should play. This is me using farm as a time to play whatever I want. I'm playing Incarn and Visions Major. Like, I would play Starlord. So we've got Twin Moon versus Stellar Flare. So this one is kind of interesting. Stellar Flare is a little bit better for boss damage, and in general, it's my recommended, especially for Mythic Orgozoa, because if you're being brought in on this fight, you're not being brought in for ad damage and to pad. You should let that go to like the Fire Mages, the Outlaw Rogues, the Demon Hunters, whatever else, right? So you should let other classes be able to DPS down the Zoetroids. You should be like cranking the boss. So I would recommend Stellar Flare. However, you can also play Twin Moons if you need a little bit more ad damage, or if you're trying to go for that fat parse. Like that's also a reason that you would play Twin Moons. And then we got Shooting Stars versus Fury of Elune. Again, a similar concept. Shooting Stars is just all around a little bit better. However, Fury of Elune for the Zoetroid pad is going to outperform damage-wise. So, I mean, maybe you could think that that's a little bit better. So it just kind of depends. If you are playing Stellar Flare, though, and Shooting Stars, you should not Moonfire the Zoetroids. You should only cast Sunfire on them. It is not efficient for you, Shooting Stars-wise, from an AoE to single target damage conversion perspective, for you to individually Moonfire all of them. So you should only Sunfire them, if that makes any sense to you guys. All right, as for Azerite, we got triple Streaking Stars and one Arcanic Pulsar. That should 100% fill you out. And then the rest of it should be something like Power of the Moon, Loyal to the End, Undulating Tides. What else is really good? Swirling Sands, Blightborn Infusion, that kind of thing. Those are always your top tier like essences. All right, so now we have finally phased the boss, and we are moving on into phase 2. As you can see, I'm doing a very strong and beefy 57k DPS as I proc by Visions of Perfection twice while running down the bridge. Fuck yes, that's exactly what you'd love to see from Visions of Perfection usage. Just 0 damage done. Also, whenever these Zoetroids are walking down the platform, if you're hitting them, you're trolling your fucking group and you will wipe them, because if you kill them on the stairs, it's going to be an automatic wipe, so don't do that. Alright, anyways, now you can dot them. But yeah, that in general, balanced druid, just making sure that you get out of the group with the incubation fluid, making sure that this witch gets kicked whenever she comes out, like she spawns like over here, making sure that she gets kicked is also pretty important. You can probably use bark skin every single time you get the arcane current going out once you have the incubation fluid. Just like pretty much as soon as you have it, you should be good to go. Beyond that, make sure you slam your cooldowns pretty much on CD. There's nothing you're really saving it for there. Health potion and health stone should probably be used in phase 1 because that is by far the most dangerous part, because in phase 2 you should be burning the boss. I'm going to warn you, I'm pretty sure that I pad on this fight because I'm being a bit of a bad boy, but yeah, you should definitely just be burning the boss here, especially with your second round with your round of cooldowns that you're getting right here. Aqualance, get out of the fucking group. If you wipe your whole entire raid, they will not be thrilled here. So yeah, make sure that you drop those off to the side. And then you also see me with incubation fluid, so I'm like positioning just a little bit further to the edge, so it's a little bit easier for me to get out of the group. Yeah, I'm definitely hitting the ads here. But anyways, Orgozoa, not exactly Moonkin's premier fight. You should just really make sure that you live through it. That is like the most important aspect of the whole entire thing. Potentially giving some off healing to group members, throwing out innervates whenever they're needed. If you have the Azshara if you have the Azshara staff, making sure that you proc that at an appropriate time whenever the group is getting pretty low. There's merits popping in phase 1 potentially too, just to top the whole entire group. Those kind of things are what's going to make you bringable. You're not going to be doing like super sick damage. I was memeing one week and playing Purification Protocol and doing like okay DPS, but at the end of the day, Purification Protocol is like so bad relative to like bringing in another class that is good at passively cleaving all of this stuff down, like a Fire Mage. Like Fire Mage cleaves all of this down with Ignite, like it's spreading passively, so they're literally just hitting straight into the boss. That is what you should be looking for on this fight. You see the switch? Solar Beam. Hell yeah. Let's go. Alright, and now basically from this point onward, it's just kind of a burn, making sure that you spread out, not to give the incubation fluid debuff to your whole entire group. Now you're just sitting here hitting the boss for just a couple seconds before the boss does end up going down. For guilds that have a little bit worse damage or a little bit lower progress, this is going to be a pretty tight check. But for re-kills, this fight's actually relatively easy. I hope this helped you guys out. I'm going to be doing a little bit more Mythic Plus content in the next couple of days. I'm probably going to get the Queen's Court guide coming up soon as well. So beyond that, make sure to check out all that. Make sure you leave a like, a subscribe, check out all the stuff down in the descriptions. I'm uploading podcasts weekly. We got the Titan Forge podcast. If you like high-end PvE content, make sure you check that out too. Beyond that, we got Moonkin Monthly coming up in a couple days as well. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys later. Peace.